there's a lot of pressure that escapes between the cylinder, front of the cylinder, and the rear of the barrel there, the forcing cone as it's called. There's a gap there when you close the cylinder, and there has to be a gap because, you know, you got to be able to open and close the cylinder. So think about it, all the pressure from that round and powder burning and the bullet trailing from the cylinder, the chamber, up into the barrel and then on out. Well, and particularly if it's not aligned perfectly, you can have a revolver where the cylinder is not aligned well, you might get more than gas escaping there. You might get some lead, some pieces of copper or whatever coming out laterally, okay? You don't want to shoot a revolver like that. That might feel good in terms of a grip. Very bad idea. Very bad idea. When I was working with the police department and would qualify once a year, I always watched for the revolver guys. There was usually a couple, and if they were on the line, I would get away from them. I scouted them out early. I didn't want to be beside them, because if you're standing beside somebody shooting a revolver and you're all in the parallel line there, well, that stuff is coming out in your face, right in your eye if you're not careful. So anyway, let's demonstrate what happens when you shoot a revolver. And the reason you don't want to put your hand, don't have your fingers extending beyond the front of that cylinder at all. Now I put out a word on YouTube to get a volunteer to do this, to come to the compound and do it and demonstrate what it might do to your fingers. I haven't heard back from anybody yet, so we're going to go ahead and do it ourselves. Okay, ourselves. So we'll put 3 rounds in. I don't know if we need 3, and we're just going to have to use the target. Nobody's going to volunteer, so I don't know what the problem is. So we've got a rolled up target here, and I think I can hold it like this and take a shot. I'm not going to try to hit anything, really just want to shoot, and then we'll see what happens to that paper. That's funny. I should have known it would do that. Let's do it again. That was fun. In case you didn't see that, right? You never know what's going to happen. That's funny. I was all ready to put the gun down and say, now you see the specks and the stuff that hit the paper there. Okay, need I say more? I think that pretty much says it all. We've had around there. We don't really need to do that again. But that's the thing. You have a lot of pressure coming out. When I used to shoot silhouettes at long range back in the 70s with a 44 mag, my long barrel 44, and one of the positions was to lie down and rest the gun on your leg. And some people would make the mistake of having the cylinder gap down there on their, even with jeans on, and it would just burn the fire out of their leg right through their jeans. So you'd wrap your leg, the calf of your leg, in a piece of leather, just like that, and to lay the gun on there to shoot it if you're shooting a revolver. So just a little tip there. If if that didn't demonstrate that you don't want your fingers out in front of the cylinder when you shoot a revolver. Okay.